The emergency phone had been ringing for 3 hours straight. When campus police finally answered, a voice whispered, "She's still here. You didn't find her." The girl he was talking about had been missing for 6 weeks. But that's just the first story. What happened in the dormitory is so much worse. Story 1. The campus emergency phone. The emergency phone on the North Trail had been ringing for 3 hours straight before campus security finally checked it. It was October 2019 at Whitmore State University in Vermont. The blue light station sat along a wooded path connecting the library to the east dormitories. Students used it every night. That Thursday evening, temperatures dropped to 38 degrees. A thin fog rolled across campus around 9 p.m. Junior Emily Rothman was walking back to her dorm when she first heard it. The sharp, metallic ring cut through the cold air. She stopped. The emergency phone's blue light pulsed in the darkness about 50 yards ahead. These phones were direct lines to campus police. You pressed the button, and they answered immediately. They didn't ring. They never rang. Emily pulled out her phone and filmed it for her Instagram story. "This is so weird," she whispered to the camera. The ringing continued. Steady, relentless. She walked past quickly, her breath visible in the air. By 10:30 p.m., at least a dozen students had posted about it on the campus Reddit page. Anyone else hearing that emergency phone ringing? Been going for over an hour. Why isn't security checking it? Campus security officer Derek Mills finally responded at 11:47 p.m. His body camera footage would later be reviewed by state police. He approached the phone slowly, his flashlight cutting through the fog. The ringing was deafening up close. He lifted the receiver. Silence. Then a voice. Barely a whisper. "She's still here." "Who is this?" Mills demanded. "She's still here. You didn't find her." The line went dead. Mills immediately radioed dispatch. They confirmed no outgoing call had been placed from that phone. The system showed no activity since its last maintenance check 3 weeks prior. Impossible. At 12:15 a.m., a K-9 unit was brought to the trail. The German Shepherd, trained in search and rescue, became agitated near a drainage culvert about 30 feet from the emergency phone. Officers found a student ID half buried in mud and leaves. The name, Sarah Chen. Sarah had been reported missing 6 weeks earlier. The 20-year-old sophomore vanished after leaving the library on a Wednesday night. Her case had gone cold. Searches turned up nothing. Her family begged for answers on local news. Campus police had searched this exact trail 4 times. The dog led them deeper into the culvert system. 20 minutes later, they found her backpack wedged between concrete and roots. Inside, her laptop, textbooks, and her phone. Dead but intact. State police took over. They extracted data from Sarah's phone. The last thing she'd opened was the campus safety app at 9:43 p.m. on the night she disappeared. She'd pressed the emergency button, the one that was supposed to send her exact GPS location to campus security. But no alert was ever received. The phone's final outgoing text, unsent but drafted in her notes app, read, "Someone's following me. I pressed the emergency button but nothing's happening." The trail was shut down for a week. Investigators found signs of a struggle near the emergency phone, disturbed soil, broken branches. But they never found Sarah. The culvert system stretched for miles under campus. Rumors spread. Some students claimed they'd seen someone in maintenance clothing near the trail the night she vanished. Others said the emergency phone system had been malfunctioning for months, but the university never fixed it. Derek Mills quit 2 weeks later. He told a coworker the voice on that phone wasn't asking for help. It was a warning. The emergency phone was removed in November 2019. The university installed a new one 50 feet away. Students still use the North Trail. But on cold October nights, some report hearing a phone ringing in the distance. When they stop to listen, it always stops too. Sarah Chen's case remains open. No arrests have been made. And every year on the anniversary of her disappearance, campus police receive an anonymous call from an emergency phone that no longer exists. Story 2. The Roommate Request. In March 2021, a student at Belmont University in Pennsylvania opened her housing portal and saw that her roommate had changed her profile picture to a photo of her sleeping. 20-year-old Kayla Morrison was sitting in the campus coffee shop when she logged in to check her fall semester housing assignment. She'd requested a random roommate for her junior year. The university's system showed her match: Rachel Delgado, sophomore, biology major. Kayla clicked on Rachel's profile to learn more about her future roommate. The profile picture loaded slowly. When it appeared, Kayla's coffee cup slipped from her hand. It was a photograph of Kayla, asleep in her current dorm room, taken from the foot of her bed. The angle showed everything: her purple comforter, the string lights above her headboard, her laptop on the desk. The photo had been taken recently. She recognized the sweatshirt draped over her chair from last week. Kayla's hands shook as she screenshotted it. She immediately called campus housing. The coordinator seemed confused. "Are you sure you don't know this person? Maybe it's a friend playing a joke?" "I've never heard of Rachel Delgado in my life." The coordinator pulled up Rachel's account. It had been created 6 weeks ago. The only information: her name, a campus email address, and that single photo. No emergency contacts. No previous address. No student ID number on file. "That's unusual," the coordinator admitted. "Let me escalate this to campus police." Kayla hung up and opened Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. She searched every variation of Rachel Delgado. Nothing. No social media presence at all. She searched Belmont's student directory. Rachel Delgado wasn't enrolled. Campus police officer Jennifer Haas met with Kayla that afternoon. She reviewed the screenshot and the housing portal. "Has anyone had access to your dorm room recently?" "Just my current roommate, but she's studying abroad this semester. She left in January." "Any maintenance requests?" "Cleaning staff." "No." Officer Haas contacted the university's IT department. They discovered something disturbing. Rachel Delgado's email address was legitimate, created through the student system, but it had been generated using an override code that only housing administrators had access to. Someone internal had created a fake student profile. The photo's metadata was analyzed. It had been taken on February 23rd at 3:17 a.m. Kayla checked her own photos from that night. She'd been asleep, alone. Her roommate was overseas. The door had been locked, but someone had been inside. Campus police reviewed keycard access logs for Kayla's building. Every entry required a student ID swipe. On February 23rd at 2:54 a.m., there was a swipe. But the ID number didn't match any current student. It was registered to a maintenance account that had been deactivated in 2019. Officer Haas asked the question no one wanted to answer: who has old maintenance keycards? The university had switched to a new security system 2 years prior. Old keycards were supposed to be destroyed, but a facilities manager admitted some might have been kept by former employees. There was no tracking system. Kayla's dorm lock was changed immediately. She was offered a new room, but something else happened first. 3 days after reporting the photo, Kayla received an email. It came from Rachel Delgado's account. The subject line was blank. The message contained one sentence: "You're going to be a great roommate." Attached was another photo. This one showed Kayla walking to class that morning, taken from behind, close enough to see the coffee stain on her backpack. Campus police traced the IP address. It came from a computer in the university library, public access terminal on the second floor. Security footage showed someone sitting at that computer at the exact time the email was sent, but they wore a dark hoodie, head down, face obscured. They left before police arrived. The Rachel Delgado account was deleted by IT. Kayla moved to a new building with upgraded security. She graduated in 2023 and moved out of state. But 2 months ago, In November 2025, another student at Belmont University reported the same thing. She logged into the housing portal to find her assigned roommate's profile picture was a photo of her sleeping. The roommate's name, Rachel Delgado. Campus police investigated immediately. The account had been created using the same override code. The photo was taken at 3:17 a.m. The victim's keycard logs showed an entry from a deactivated maintenance account. The student was moved off campus. The housing system was audited. They found something no one expected. Since 2019, the name Rachel Delgado had appeared in the system 17 times. Each time, the account was deleted after a complaint. Each time it came back. University officials believe a former employee still has system access. But they can't identify who. And they don't know why. Students at Belmont now cover their laptop cameras. They push furniture against doors at night. And before requesting a roommate through the portal, they check one thing first, that their future roommate's profile picture isn't a photo of them sleeping. Because Rachel Delgado is still out there. Still watching. Still waiting to be someone's roommate. Story 3. The Study Room Reservation. In September 2022, a graduate student at Harrington College in Ohio discovered that someone had been reserving the same library study room every night at 2 a.m. for the past 9 months. 24-year-old Marcus Webb was pulling an all-nighter for his thesis when he tried to book Study Room 014 in the basement of Thatcher Library. The reservation system showed it was available until 2 a.m., then blocked. Every single night. He scrolled through the calendar. February, March, April, all the way back to January. The same pattern. 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Reserved. User, anonymous. Marcus thought it was a system glitch. He asked the overnight library attendant, a junior named Tyler Moss, about it. "Oh yeah, 014, Tyler said quietly. "Don't go down there after 2 a.m. "Why not?" Tyler hesitated. "Just, people hear things." Marcus laughed it off. He was a scientist. He didn't believe in campus legends. But curiosity pulled at him. At 1:55 a.m., with the library nearly empty, he walked down to the basement. The fluorescent lights flickered in the hallway. Study Room 014 was at the far end, past rows of archived journals and storage boxes. The door had a small window. Dark inside. Marcus checked his phone. 1:58 a.m. He waited. At exactly 2 a.m., the light inside the room turned on by itself. Marcus felt his pulse quicken. Automatic timer, he told himself. He stepped closer to the window and looked inside. Empty. Just a table, 4 chairs, and a whiteboard. But the computer monitor on the desk was on. Login screen glowing. He tried the door. Reserved. Then he heard it. Typing. Fast, rhythmic typing. Coming from inside the room. Marcus pressed his face to the window. No one was at the keyboard. But the screen was changing. Lines of text appearing rapidly. He couldn't read them from the angle, but someone, or something, was typing. His phone vibrated. A notification from the library reservation app. Your proximity has been logged near Study Room 014. He never signed up for proximity tracking. Another notification. Would you like to join the session? Marcus backed away from the door. The typing stopped. The light inside the room flickered once. Twice. Then the monitor went black. He ran upstairs. Tyler saw his face and just nodded. Told you. The next day, Marcus went to the library's administrative office. He asked who had reserved 014 every night for 9 months. The coordinator pulled up the records, her face puzzled. That's strange. The reservation was made under a faculty account. Professor Edmund Harwick. Marcus knew that name. Everyone did. Professor Harwick had taught computer science at Harrington College for 23 years. He died in January 2022. Heart attack. In his office. The office that was directly above Study Room 014. This has to be a mistake, the coordinator said. His account should have been deactivated when he passed. But it wasn't. His faculty login was still active. And according to the system, he logged in every single night at 2 a.m. Marcus requested Harwick's login history. The pattern was meticulous. Every night since his death, the account accessed the reservation system at 1:59 a.m., booked room 014, then accessed the campus VPN from inside that room at 2 a.m. The IT department was called in. They traced the VPN connection. It originated from the desktop computer in study room 014. But that computer had been offline for maintenance since March. It wasn't even connected to the network. Yet somehow, data was being transmitted. A technician went to room 014 to physically inspect the machine. Marcus went with him. It was 11 a.m. Broad daylight. The technician powered on the computer. The login screen appeared. He bypassed it using an admin override. The desktop loaded. One folder sat in the center of the screen, labeled Final Project. Inside were hundreds of documents, all created after January 14, 2022. After Harwick died, they were research papers, code repositories, emails, all addressed to former students. Messages Harwick never got to send before he passed. Recommendations he'd promised to write. Thesis edits he'd been working on. But the last file was different. A video file. Timestamp, September 18, 2022. 2 days ago. The technician clicked it. The video showed study room 014. The same angle as the door window. Empty room. Static shot. Time code in the corner. 2 a.m. Then, for just 3 seconds, a figure appeared in one of the chairs. Translucent. Flickering. Sitting at the computer. Typing. Professor Edmund Harwick. The video ended. The technician's hands were shaking. We need to shut this down. They tried. They deactivated Harwick's account. They removed the computer from room 014. They even disabled the reservation system for that room entirely. But 2 weeks later, Marcus received an email from Edmund Harwick's faculty account. Subject: Thank you for checking on me. The message was brief. I have 47 more letters to finish. Please let me work. I'll be done soon. I promised them I would be. Attached was a list. 47 names. All former students. Marcus recognized some of them, people who'd graduated years ago. Others were current students. Campus police investigated. IT experts couldn't explain how the emails were being sent. The account was deleted from every server. But the reservations continued. Study room 014 is still booked every night from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. The library officially lists it as under maintenance. But students who walk past the basement at night report the same thing. A light on inside, and the faint sound of typing. In May 2023, the last name on Professor Harwick's list received an email. A letter of recommendation. Perfectly written. Posted 3 months after the student had given up hope. After that, the reservation stopped. The account went silent. Room 014 went dark. But sometimes, late at night, the library staff still find things. A desk light left on in the basement. A chair pulled out from the table. And on the whiteboard in study room 014, written in red dry erase marker, the same message appears every few months. Work isn't finished. Death doesn't excuse deadlines. No one knows who writes it. And no one stays long enough to find out. Story 4. The Tunnel System. In November 2020, 3 students exploring the maintenance tunnels beneath Riverside University in Michigan found a room that wasn't on any campus map. It was 11:30 p.m. when sophomores Jason Chin, Mira Patel, and Derek Foster entered the tunnels through an unlocked service door behind the engineering building. Urban exploration was a tradition at Riverside. The tunnel system connected every major building on campus, built in the 1960s for steam heating and utility access. Students had been sneaking down there for decades. The air was thick and warm. Pipes ran along the ceiling, dripping condensation. The concrete walls were covered in decades of graffiti. Jason led the way with his phone's flashlight, filming everything for his YouTube channel. "This is awesome," Mira whispered, her voice echoing. They walked for 15 minutes, past junction points they recognized from older students' descriptions. Left at the biochemistry building connection. Straight through the corridor under the quad. But then Derek noticed something. That door wasn't in any of the maps I saw online. To their right, a metal door. Dark green. No window. No signage. Just a heavy deadbolt lock that had been cut clean through. The door sat slightly ajar. Jason pushed it open. The hinges screamed. Inside was a small room. Maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. Concrete floor. Bare bulb hanging from the ceiling, still on. And covering every inch of the walls. Photographs. Hundreds of them. Mira stepped inside first. Her breath caught. These are students. The photos were candid shots. Students walking to class. Sitting in the library. Eating in the dining hall. Some were close-ups, taken from only feet away. Others were distant, zoomed in, grainy. All printed on regular paper. Some were faded and yellow. Others looked recent. Jason's hands shook as he filmed. "What the hell is this?" Derek picked up a photo from the floor. A girl with red hair, sitting on a bench near the student union. He flipped it over. Written on the back in blue ink, Sarah K. 3:15 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays. Another photo. A guy leaving the gym. On the back, Michael R. 6 a.m. every day. They were surveillance notes. Schedules. Patterns. Mira found a corkboard leaning against the wall. Photos pinned in neat rows. 12 faces. Beneath each photo, a single word stamped in red ink. Completed. "Completed what?" she whispered. Jason zoomed in with his camera. His stomach dropped. He recognized one of the faces. That's Amanda Cortez. Amanda Cortez had disappeared from Riverside University in October 2019. Junior year. Last seen leaving her dorm on a Wednesday night. The case went cold after 3 months. Police found nothing. Derek's voice cracked. "We need to leave. Right now." But Mira was staring at something else. A desk in the corner they hadn't noticed. On it, a laptop. Closed but plugged in. Next to it, a notebook. She opened it. Pages and pages of names. Student names. Organized by building, by major, by schedule. Notes about routines. Always alone after 10 p.m. Takes the north path to avoid cameras. Leaves phone in room on Thursdays. The most recent entry was dated 4 days ago. Jason's phone buzzed. "Low battery warning. We have to go. Now." They ran. Back through the tunnels. Left, right, straight. The walls seemed closer than before. The sounds different. Every drip of water sounded like footsteps. Every shadow moved. They burst out of the service door at 12:17 a.m. and ran straight to campus police. Officer Linda Vasquez took their report seriously. By 1 a.m., a team was in the tunnels. They found the room exactly where the students described. Everything was still there. The photos. The notebook. The laptop. Forensics took over. The laptop had been wiped remotely 20 minutes after the students left the room. Someone had been monitoring it. Watching when it was accessed. But data recovery specialists found fragments. File names. Dates. Hundreds of surveillance photos going back to 2015. The names in the notebook were cross-referenced with campus records. 43 students total. 12 were marked completed. Police tracked them down. Amanda Cortez. Still missing. Ryan Ito. Transferred schools in 2017. Said he left because he felt watched. Sofia Martinez. Graduated in 2018. Told police she'd reported a stalker her junior year, but campus security found no evidence. The other 9 had similar stories. Uncomfortable encounters. Feelings of being followed. Unexplained break-ins. But no proof. No arrests. The remaining 31 names were current students. All were immediately notified. Most had no idea they'd been targeted. But when police showed them the photos, the details were perfect. Exact schedules, specific routes, private habits. One student, a senior named Claire Hoffman, broke down. I thought I was going crazy. Things kept moving in my apartment. My toothbrush, my keys, little things. I changed my locks twice. Campus police reviewed security footage from every building. They found something chilling. In 12 separate incidents over 5 years, a figure appeared in the background of footage, always wearing maintenance coveralls, always carrying a toolbox, always turning away from cameras at the last second. Maintenance staff were interviewed. No one recognized the person. The university only employed 6 maintenance workers who had tunnel access. All were accounted for. But someone had a key. Someone had been living in those tunnels. A second search was conducted. Deeper this time. In a junction point beneath the old psychology building, they found evidence of habitation. A sleeping bag, canned food, a camping stove, and a duffel bag filled with campus master keys, copied from originals. DNA evidence was collected. No matches in any database. The tunnel system was sealed. Every entrance welded shut. New locks installed on every building. But 3 weeks later, a freshman reported finding a photo slipped under her dorm room door. Walking to class that morning. On the back, written in blue ink, "You changed your route." Smart. Campus police increased patrols. Security cameras were upgraded. But the photos kept appearing. Slipped into backpacks. Left on car windshields. Taped inside bathroom stalls. In March 2021, a janitor found another room. Different tunnel section. This one had maps. Blueprints of every dorm building. Layouts of rooms. Notes about which windows didn't lock properly. Which doors had broken alarms. The FBI was called in. They determined the suspect had extensive knowledge of campus infrastructure. Possibly a former employee or contractor. But with no clear identity and no direct attacks, the case stalled. Jason, Mira, and Derek all transferred schools by the end of the semester. Jason deleted his YouTube channel. He told a reporter he still has nightmares about what else might have been in those tunnels. Rooms they didn't find. Riverside University installed new security measures. But in October 2024, during a routine inspection, maintenance workers found something new in the sealed tunnels. Someone had cut through the welds. The door to the original surveillance room was open. Inside, the walls had been wiped clean. But on the floor, arranged in a perfect circle, were 12 new photos. Current students. Different faces. Same blue ink on the back. Same schedules. Same patterns. And in the center of the circle, a note written on campus letterhead. "Thank you for the upgrade. The new cameras make this so much easier." The case remains open. No arrests have been made. And students at Riverside University now know someone is always watching. Someone who knows the tunnels better than anyone. Someone who never left. Story 5. The Wellness Check. In October 2024, a resident advisor at Creston University in Washington performed a wellness check on a student who had been attending classes for 3 weeks after she was supposed to have moved out. 22-year-old RA Sophie Brennan received an email from the housing office on a Friday afternoon. The subject line read, "Urgent occupancy discrepancy room 412." The email explained that their system showed room 412 in Hadley Hall as vacant since August 28th. But multiple students had reported seeing someone living there. Lights on at night. Shower running in the morning. The housing coordinator asked Sophie to investigate immediately. Sophie checked her records. Room 412 had been assigned to a senior named Olivia Marsh for the fall semester. But Olivia had deferred in late August, family emergency. She'd officially moved out before classes even started. The room had been sitting empty for 6 weeks. Except it hadn't been empty. Sophie walked to the fourth floor at 6:30 p.m. The hallway was quiet. Most students were at dinner. She knocked on 412. No answer. She knocked again, louder. Resident advisor. I need to speak with whoever's inside. Silence. Sophie used her master key. The deadbolt was locked from the inside. She tried again. The door opened 3 inches and caught on the security chain. Through the gap, she could see the room was fully furnished. Bedmade. Desk organized. String lights glowing softly. Posters on the wall. Someone was definitely living here. Hello. Sophie called through the opening. This is your RA. I need to verify occupancy. Can you please open the door? Movement. A shadow crossed the light. Then a voice. I'm registered. Check your system. The system shows this room is vacant. What's your name? The pause. Olivia Marsh. Sophie's blood went cold. Olivia Marsh deferred her enrollment. She moved out in August. No, the voice said. I'm here. I've been going to classes. Check with my professors. I need you to open this door right now. I'm not feeling well. Can we do this tomorrow? Sophie stepped back. Something was very wrong. She radioed campus police. Officer Paul Chen arrived within minutes. He identified himself through the door and demanded it be opened. The voice inside went silent. Officer Chen gave one final warning, then used a bolt cutter on the security chain. The door swung open. The room was empty. Completely empty. No person. No furniture. No decorations. Just bare walls, a stripped mattress, and an empty desk. The string lights Sophie had seen through the gap? Gone. The posters? Nothing. But the room was warm. The air was humid, like someone had just taken a shower. And on the desk, still open, a laptop. Screen glowing. Logged into the university portal. Username, Olivia and 24. Officer Chen approached the laptop carefully. The screen showed a class schedule. Fall 2024 courses. Biology 301. English Literature 215. Psychology 410. The same classes Olivia had registered for before deferring. He clicked on the email tab. The inbox was active. Messages from professors. Replies to discussion boards. Assignment submissions. All dated within the past 3 weeks. All signed Olivia Marsh. Sophie checked the sent folder. The most recent email had been sent 4 minutes ago, right when they were outside the door. It was addressed to a biology professor. Sorry I missed lab today. Wasn't feeling well. We'll make it up Monday. Officer Chen called for backup. Campus IT was contacted. They remotely accessed the laptop's history. Someone had been using it daily. Logging into classes. Submitting assignments. Checking grades. The IP address showed it was connecting from inside Hadley Hall. Room 412. But the keycard access logs told a different story. The last time room 412's door was opened was August 28th, when Olivia Marsh moved out. No entries since. Not even for cleaning staff. Campus police reviewed hallway security footage. The camera covered the 4th floor corridor. They pulled up the past 3 weeks. At 8:47 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the door to room 412 opened from the inside. But no one came out. The door simply opened, paused for 3 seconds, then closed. 15 minutes later, students on the ground floor reported seeing Olivia leaving the building. But she was never captured on the 4th floor camera. Never in the stairwell. Never in the elevator. A student from room 415 was interviewed. Junior named Ethan Rodriguez. Yeah, I've seen her. Olivia. She's quiet. Always has her hood up. I've said hi a few times. She just nods. What does she look like? Officer Chen asked. Ethan hesitated. I don't actually know. I've never seen her face clearly. But she's definitely there. I hear her shower running at night. Music playing. She borrows my printer sometimes. Just slips pages under my door with a thank you note. Sophie checked her desk. She found 3 notes from Olivia requesting maintenance for room 412. Leaky faucet. Broken outlet. All written in the past 2 weeks. Maintenance had responded to each request. Their logs confirmed they'd entered 412 3 separate times. Sophie called the maintenance supervisor. "What did you find when you checked room 412? "Nothing," he said, confused. "Room was empty. I figured the requests were pranks. Happens sometimes." Campus IT dug deeper into the laptop. They found something disturbing. The device had been factory reset on August 29th, 1 day after Olivia moved out. Then reconfigured with Olivia's credentials. But the person setting it up had made one mistake. They'd connected to the university Wi-Fi before creating the fake profile. The MAC address was traced. It belonged to a laptop reported stolen from the campus bookstore in September 2023. Over a year ago. Police had never solved that theft. But there was more. IT found deleted files in the recovery partition. Thousands of photos. Screenshots of students' social media profiles. Pictures taken from around campus. And documents. Lists of student names, their dorm assignments, their class schedules. One folder was labeled, Identity, Fall 2024. Inside, Olivia Marsh's student ID photo, her course registration, scans of her room key, even her email password. The real Olivia Marsh was contacted at her family's home in California. She confirmed she'd deferred her enrollment and hadn't been on campus since August. But when campus police asked about her passwords, she went quiet. "My laptop was hacked last spring," she admitted. "Someone got into my email, changed my Netflix password, ordered food delivery to campus using my meal credits." IT said it was probably phishing. It wasn't phishing. Someone had stolen her digital identity. And when she deferred, they saw an opportunity. An empty room. A valid student profile. A ghost they could become. Campus police set up surveillance on room 412. For 3 nights, nothing happened. Then, on the 4th night at 2:33 a.m., the door opened. The hallway camera recorded it. No one came out. But something was different. The air in the hallway shimmered. Like heat distortion. And for just 2 frames of footage, 1/15th of a second, a figure appeared. Standing in the doorway. Wearing a black hoodie. Face obscured. Then gone. Officers rushed to the 4th floor. Room 412's door was closed. But they entered with the master key. Empty. But the laptop was open on the desk, still warm. The screen showed a Google search that had been entered 30 seconds ago. How to permanently delete university enrollment records. The laptop was seized as evidence. Room 412 was sealed. But 2 days later, Sophie received an email. From Olivia_Marsh_2024@creston.edu. Subject, I need a new room. The message was simple, room 412 is compromised. Can you reassign me? I'd prefer 5th floor. I like the view. The email account had been deleted by IT. It shouldn't exist. But the message was real. Sent from an IP address inside Hadley Hall. 5th floor. Housing checked their system. Room 518 showed as vacant. It had been empty since a student graduated in May. But when they checked the lock logs, there had been activity. The door had been opening and closing. Every morning. Every evening. Police entered room 518 with a tactical team at 6 a.m. Empty. But the room was warm. The bathroom mirror fogged with steam. A towel on the rack, still damp. And on the desk, a handwritten note on Creston University letterhead. I paid my tuition. I'm a student here. You can't make me leave. Forensics tested the note. No fingerprints. The handwriting matched samples from Olivia Marsh's old assignments, but with subtle differences. Like someone had practiced copying her writing style. Campus-wide alerts were sent. Students were warned about identity theft. Passwords were reset. Security was increased. But the sightings continued. Students reported seeing Olivia in classes, sitting in the back row, but never speaking, never interacting. Professors were questioned. 3 confirmed an Olivia Marsh was registered in their courses and had been attending regularly. Her assignments were always submitted on time. Her grades were excellent, but when shown her official photo, they hesitated. "I don't think that's her," one professor said. "The girl in my class looks different." In December 2024, final exams week, a student in the library approached someone they thought was Olivia. They wanted to return a textbook she'd lent them. When they tapped her shoulder, she turned around. The student who reported it couldn't describe her face. "It's like, I looked right at her, but I can't remember what I saw. It was her, but also not her. Does that make sense?" Campus police reviewed that library footage. The video showed the interaction. But where Olivia's face should have been, the image pixelated, corrupted, like a digital glitch in physical reality. The investigation remains active. The real Olivia Marsh changed all her passwords and filed a police report. But Olivia is still enrolled at Creston University, still attending classes, still living somewhere in the dorms. Housing has flagged 17 rooms as potentially occupied by unauthorized individuals. But every time they investigate, the rooms are empty. And every time they seal a room, a new email arrives from a deleted account. "I just need somewhere to sleep. I'm paying for this. Why won't you let me stay?" Students at Creston now walk past their classmates wondering, which one isn't real? Which one is the person who's been living in the walls of the university, stealing identities, becoming whoever they need to be to belong? And the worst part? No one knows who they were before they became Olivia Marsh. No one knows how long they've been doing this, or how many other identities they've stolen. Because if they could become Olivia so completely that even professors couldn't tell the difference, who else could they become? The case remains unsolved. And somewhere on Creston's campus, someone is sitting in class right now. But face obscured, taking notes, submitting assignments, living a life that isn't theirs, waiting for you to look away, so they can become you next. These 5 stories are just the beginning. College campuses hold more secrets than you can imagine. Subscribe and share this video, because the most terrifying stories are the ones that could happen to anyone.